Sup players, and welcome to this video. I'm Centur-Ion, and in today's video I'm going to showcase Blackwing Centur-Ion combos by just taking out some test hands with this deck. Because to break with this deck, you need to make you need to be a little bit of unlucky. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get into this. I'm really excited to show this, guys, because this is basically one of my favorite builds of this deck. I think Kaliyuga is my favorite because it gives you so many. You can put so many different cards in this deck, and still just make a full combo. So yeah, let us just cut really quick and let's see what our test hand will be. So yeah, first of all we have Vada, then we have Sudri, another Vada, a Droll, and a Magnamod. So basically, guys, we have full combo here. So we're just going to remove these three cards already because you don't need them. So for this combo, our main two-go cards are Sudri and Vada, and then you could potentially use Magnamod. But basically the rest of these cards are not important in this combo. So yeah, let's get into this. So we're starting off by knowing someone else. Sudri. Sudri will activate and searching out our copy of. I'm just sitting behind the camera to easier getting to the cards, but I can also sit in front of the camera. So yeah, or not in front, but having the deck in front of the camera. So yeah, we're going to add Shamal. That we're going to ditch any just you're going to ditch him as the first thing after that. Also, guys, if your opponent draws you here, it's not the end of the world, basically. It's really hard to just keep comboing, but you could still play. But right now, I'm just showcasing test hands. So yeah, we're going to activate Shamal's effect to place the copy of Black Feather Whirlwind. That is going to be placed right there. Then we're going to special summon out our copy of Vada. Vada will now activate, sending himself alongside with. We're going to dump Chinook and Zephyrus, those two cards, to the graveyard to summon out our copy of our beloved Blackwing Dragon. That on summon will trigger our copy of Black Feather Whirlwind. I'm just moving it over here so you can see the card. We're going to say chaining 1 here, targeting Vada to summon, and chaining 2 Shamal, banishing himself to add Chinook to our hand, because if we get nipped, we have a way out now to basically still end on a pretty awesome end board. But yeah, again, this is just the test hands, guys. So I will not say you need to play. If you want to play around these hand traps, do this. This is just test hands and combos, just so we're in the clear. But yeah, now we have this. This will obviously have a counter to him. So yeah. Now we're going to use these monsters right here to synchro summon into our copy of Boreas Storm, the Wicked Wind. That on summon will activate to dump our copy of. Whoops! I just moved the camera a little bit. Maybe we're going to dump the copy of Sonda here to just do nothing with this level. But now we're going to trigger Sonda's effect, banishing him for cost to summon from our deck a level 5 or higher Blackwing. That in this case are going to be Simoon. And this will now get a second counter because we would have taken damage. Now we are going to activate Zephyrus' effect, bouncing the Black Feather Whirlwind, summon himself, and now this will get his third counter. Then we're going to reactivate this, and now we can synchro some of these monsters away to go into our Centur-Ion combos right now. We are going to summon out Auxilia, maybe just move it a little bit down here so we can see it a little bit better. That will activate searching our copy of the field spell. You could argue that you could just summon, or not just summon, you could search one of the Centur-Ion monsters, but we're just going to add the field spell here because that is the easiest way to combo. You could also, Yeah, you could also activate Whirlwind here, guys, to what's it called? Um, to revive back Boreas Storm and then synchro summon into something like Full Armor Master to have an unaffected dude. That is something that you could do, and yeah, just for comboing, we can use the effect to summon this card out. So this will chain link 1, chain link 2, summon, search. And now we are going to use these monsters, summoning out the copy of. You could also summon out your Assault Dragon here, which I will say could potentially be a better thing. So yeah, let's just do that. You could summon out either. You have free for this summon, guys. You have free. What's it called? You have free targets in your extra deck. You can summon out Blackwing the Assault Dragon. You can summon out Chaos Angel, or you could even summon out the copy of Full Armor Master. So yeah. But now we have summoned out our beloved dragon here. We're going to activate Stand Up Centur-Ion now and use the effect to dump whatever card we don't need in our hand. In this scenario, we don't need the second Lana, but this will allow us to place our copy of Centur-Ion, not Primera Trudia. Where she is right here. And now we're going to activate Trudia's effect to summon. We don't want to change the level because it doesn't really matter. What matters is her second effect to place her again, to allow us to place our copy of Primera, that we now are going to use to summon back here. And now we will trigger Primera's effect to search. And here we could argue to search Stand Up Centur-Ion, but since we still have Trudia right here, we can actually search the Phalanx to have a target banish card on the field. Because we're not going to use Primera for anything. What we could do here now, guys, we can banish Blackwing Dragon that we control alongside with our copy of Boreas Storm in the graveyard to summon our second Assault Dragon. Yeah, guys, that's true. You can actually summon by banishing from the field as well. And right now we're going to set our Phalanx, and we have 3 hand traps in the hand right here, so it's a pretty sick hand we have. So 3 non-engine plus when we pass to opponent and they're going into their turn, we're going to use Trutia's effect, change her level to 8, and now stand up will trigger, so we are going to synchro summon using these monsters here to go into our Crimson Dragon. And now with Crimson Dragon, you could summon out either Dissipator or one of our level 12 synchros as well, depending on the deck that you play against. I will say if I play against, just for an example, if I play against Malice, I will maybe, with this combo right here, I would go into Dissipator because when they banish a card, you can shuffle it back in and negate the activation of a monster effect. But if we play against other strategies, well, maybe I would just indeed go into our Omni-Negate in Blazer Dragon, or even go into our Banish Everything with Red Supernova. But yeah, let us say that you play against Blue Eyes. Against Blue Eyes, I will use this effect, targeting my Auxilla, to go into Red Supernova Dragon, because Blue Eyes cannot do that much when you have so many things. Because first of all, we have an all on field banish with Red Supernova. We do have a target banish with Phalanx. Plus we do have we have 3 hand traps in our hand. Or interruptions basically. So we have Magnamut that can banish. This is basically just an Vader Imperm. And Droll is Droll. So yeah. But that was everything for the first combo, guys. Let's get into just another test hand and see if it's any better. But basically, let us just try to see what happens if you open a field spell. What can that give you? I'm going to just quickly showcase you guys what can the field spell give you of options. So if we draw another field spell, it's not the end of the world, basically. But yeah, I'm just quickly going to shuffle out my deck quickly, just a little bit quickly. So yeah. And let us see what our starting hand is. So we start off with field spell, no matter what. We have Ash, Jamal, Crow, and Zephyrus. This hand isn't bad because we're going to start out by activating our copy of Stand Up. Stand Up will now activate. Now we send Zephyrus because that is the best valuable target for the Zen. Because again, we still do have a couple of interruptions in our opponent's turn with this hand. But yeah, if it's in this situation right here that you do not open up anything, well, we can actually end on a couple of negates first of all. But yeah, let us just place our Trudia. We're going to summon out Trudia. Trudia will activate now, placing the Primera from our deck that we're going to use. Summon. Now we're going to activate Primera's effect. We're going to add the Wake Up Centur-Ion in this situation right here. Then we're going to activate Wake Up. Since we have a monster card in our spell trap card zone that treats itself as a trap, we're going to summon a level 8 token. We're going to declare level 8 anyways. Before we continue here, guys, we're going to use Shamal's effect to place Black Feather Whirlwind from our deck. So we do have a little bit of follow-up in our upcoming turn. First of all, if we decide to go into Red Supernova Dragon or even other cards. But yeah, now we're going to synchro summon using these two monsters right here. The level 8 token is just going away. We're going to summon out our Centur-Ion Auxilia that on summon will activate, searching out our, in this situation, first of all, chaining 1 to search and chaining 2 to summon. And in this situation, we're going to summon Shamal. And now we are going to search with our Auxilia, and in this situation, I'm just going to search Phalanx, because Phalanx is the more valuable target for this search. And now we're going to use Zephyrus' effect, bouncing back. We could bounce the Black Feather Whirlwind, which I'm just going to do anyways. Then we can reactivate this and basically synchro summon into. You could argue to summon into your your Draco Berserker. Or you could even summon out your Blackwing Dragon, because the funny thing here is if you summon Blackwing Dragon right here and activate Black Feather Whirlwind to revive back Shamal, we can go into our Crimson Dragon in our first turn right here. However, if you do that, you could argue that you can also do that on your opponent's turn. So basically, a scenario here will be that if you go into Blackwing Dragon with this starting hand that we had right here, and with that combo, like again, it were really good in my favor. Like I did have both Shamal and Zephyrus in the same hand, plus it can happen. And I also had the field spell. And the more important part here is guys, that I do have the field spell, so that's the more important thing right here. But yeah, with this, we could synchro summon into Crimson Dragon. Then already here gives us either this or this in our first turn. So basically, if they wait with Nip until the end phase, we can omnigate this with this, and that's crazy actually to think about. And the other import options, guys, were basically just Draco Berserker. We could argue about that you could revive back your Shamal again and make the same board anyways. But yeah. Basically, guys, I will say for this option here, I might be just considering keeping Draco Berserker. Because no matter what, you don't need both of these level 12 in your opponent's turn. It's nice to summon out, for example, your Omni-Negate on your own turn. But on paper, guys, I will say Draco Berserker might be the more valuable target. Because, yeah, if they nip you, well, then you're kind of screwed in some sort of way. But again, it depends on that a lot of things. Like then you have to use hindsight and think about what is my opponent's next play. So basically here guys, let's just say that we summon out Dragon Berserker. You could summon back with Black Feather Whirlwind, but we don't need to. It's not necessary. But again, it depends if we want to go for an Omnigate rather than just a monster banish. Well, then this is the then the other options are then board to go with. But yeah, now we're going to set this. In the end phase, Auxilia will activate, placing Primera, and now it's our opponent's turn. And keep in mind, we still do have Ash and Crow in our hand. So in your opponent's turn, again, the same thing happens. We're going to summon out these, make this level 8. Quick sync with stand-up Centur-Ion into Crimson Dragon that will bounce out for either Red Supernova or Cosmic Blazer Dragon. So yeah, guys, that is some of the endboards that this awesome deck can make. I will say I'm more hyped for the Draco Berserker play. That's also why I play the card. But yeah, again, you need to have this specific hand in your favor. Now I just wanted to show you what a random hand could basically do with just the one field spell. And the one field spell can basically give you, if you have the cards in your favor, you can end on your Omnigate or a board wipe on your first turn. But yeah, guys, that was everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.